Okay, what up ladies and gents, your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully one of your favorite Helldivers 2 content creators, and here's what I'm going to do today. Today I'm going to teach you guys about the new meta loadout by explaining the weapon, armor, stratagem choices, everything. This is going to be more of an explanation and discussion video. I know a lot of you guys would have preferred if I put in little clips of gameplay and stuff like that, but honest to God, I don't think that's going to help you. If you want to check out the gameplay for any of these loadouts, you can actually just check on stream because this is what you would have seen me play. In fact, I'll be linking you guys to my testing stream in the description of this video. All you got to do is check it out and you can see how we've actually used these loadouts live in the field, all right? And you can see the kind of results that we've obtained with them. But, all right, I want to make this more of a discussion video so that you guys can understand the full range of your options and what they can do. So, without further ado, let me get started, okay? I'm going to remove my cam for this one because I know you guys love to see my handsome face, but you don't really need to see that. What you need to see are the weapons, and you need to hear the explanations on them. So, let us begin this video by discussing your primary weapon options. Right now in the game, against the Terminid Faction, if you guys want to deal with Terminids, there are three absolutely strong options. Jar 5 Dominator, the Plus 1 Scorcher, and the Breaker Incendiary. The Breaker Incendiary was not at all affected by any of the changes to the Breaker itself. So, the Breaker Incendiary is still a fantastic choice. It is great for short-range engagements, it will burn out most targets, and it is excellent when, you know, a horde of hunters is on you, you want to kill them all, you want to get rid of eggs, this is your weapon of choice, okay? Bring the Breaker Incendiary on missions, especially missions where you have to get rid of eggs. This is where it's useful. Now, if you do not have a sniper on your team who can take out Spore Spewers, the Jar 5 Dominator is your weapon of choice. It is worse against faster targets, so if you're dealing with a lot of hunters during the mission, the Jar 5 Dominator is not really going to be very good. Alright, and if hunters are your primary concern, do not bring this along. The Jar 5 Dominator works best against armored targets, such as the armored bugs. You can just shoot through their head and they will die. It has fantastic damage, low capacity, very high recoil, but honest to God, it is a masterpiece. And here's the thing. It's effective up to 200 meters, so you can actually use this to snipe out a Spore Spewer from 200 meters away. I tested it live on stream, and basically with a full clip from the Jar 5 Dominator, the Spore Spewer died. So you can actually do your objectives from a distance, which is hilarious, alright? In fact, the Plus 1 Scorcher can actually do the same thing. The Plus 1 Scorcher has about half the damage of the Jar 5. It is a energy-based weapon, alright? But here's the thing, it has no recoil. Same capacity, no recoil, less armor penetration, but it is pretty dangerous because it also deals explosive damage. So if you're going to hit a weak spot with this, you're going to deal a lot of damage. The Plus 1 Scorcher is okay. I think it's better against automatons, but if you like it against the bugs, don't hesitate to use it. It is quite useful, especially when hunters are jumping around you because it's faster to aim than the Jar 5, and it also takes less shots to take down a Spore Spewer. If I'm not wrong, it only takes half the magazine, as opposed to the Jar 5 Dominator taking up the full magazine. If I said clip earlier, I do apologize. I know it grates some of you the wrong way, but I'm trying to get over saying clip because old habits, but actually it should be magazine, as I was taught. So the magazine for the Jar 5, it will take up your whole magazine to destroy a Spore Spewer, but the Plus 1 Scorcher only takes up about half the magazine, as far as I remember. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So the Plus 1 Scorcher, did I say Plus 5 Scorcher? Plus 1 Scorcher is fantastic, and it is a valid choice. What do I pick? In general, the Breaker Incendiary is pretty good. During my testing stream, I was mostly using the Jar 5, but it, excuse me, it really depends on your engagement. If you are struggling with hunters, which I was struggling with the most, I would recommend the Breaker Incendiary or the Plus 1 Scorcher. Okay? If you're not struggling with those, Jar 5 Dominator, fantastic. Okay, that about covers it for the primary weapons. Now, for the secondary and grenade, I'm just going to go through this quickly. The Redeemer is your only choice for the secondary. You can use the Senator and the Peacemaker if you really want to, but realistically speaking, the Redeemer is basically the Peacemaker, but with double the capacity. So there's no reason not to use this. It has one less magazine, but honest to God, double the capacity. It means you have practically 8 mags. This thing has 5 mags of 15. This thing has 4 mags of 30. It's not hard to do the math. They have the same damage and armor penetration. So I would use the Redeemer and just put it into semi-automatic. Yeah? Okay, for your grenade, you have choices between either the high explosive or the impact grenade. Some people like the incendiary. I leave that choice to you. But against bugs, most of the time it's high explosive and impact. Pretty standard. Okay, that about covers it for your weapons. Now we're going to talk about armor. I know that the armor bug has been fixed, and many of you are aware of this, but quite frankly, with a lot of people having tested it already, and I myself having tested it, here is the thing. Critical hits, meaning hits to your head, ignores all armor anyway. And the bugs, the way they slash, often hits your head. So you're going to take practically full damage. Hunters jumping on you is going to give you full damage, so you're going to die regardless. Quite frankly, you're not going to get a lot of benefit out of the armor. So, go for speed. This is my advice. Light armor is outperforming right now because you can run faster and position better. Medium armor is also good, but not the best. It offers you a bit more protection, but you're still going to die from a spear spewing on you. Just take note of that. So since you're going to be using the shield backpack either way, it is better to be able to run from the bugs. So I choose light armor, but you can choose medium. Do not choose heavy. You are going to die. That's just me saying that straight up. You won't be able to outrun a Bile Titan, and you will straight up die. Please be careful. Okay, moving my cam again. Let's talk about armor. In terms of the armor, like I said, light and medium armors are my go-to right now. There are two types of passives that you want on your armor. The first type of passive is Scout. Against Terminids, this is invaluable. Reducing the range at which enemies can detect you by 30% is fantastic. It helps you avoid so many patrols and so many conflicts. The more patrols you trigger, the longer your mission's going to take. And if one of them calls in a bug breach, the longer your mission's going to take. The longer your mission takes, the more bugs come at you. So please take note that if you can just avoid patrols, avoid them. All right, don't alert them. Infiltrate. This is one of your best choices. It also offers slightly higher armor rating than a lot of the other armors. It has less speed, obviously, but it has more speed than the medium armor and more stamina regen. I find that this armor gives the best sweet spot, and it is also obtainable from the War Bond, so you don't, and it's like one of the first armor sets you get, I think, so you don't even have to spend that much to get it, and you don't have to spend any super credits. The downside is that you look a little lame, because I mean, black and yellow, not my thing. Hopefully we can paint armors in future, because as much as I love black and yellow, it's really not a good idea. Okay, so if you can deal with the horrible fashion, this is my recommended choice, honest to God. But other than that, you can also go for servo assisted. This is a great passive to use, and it is one of my favorite passives. Against the bugs, you can throw in things out of their detection range, which is really fantastic, and the extra 50% limb health is really good. Honest to God, you will be able to survive hits that would otherwise break your arms and legs. So I do like servo assisted quite a bit. The other valid choice would be Hero of the Federation, also available from your War Bond. This one gives you a 50% chance to not die when taking lethal damage, and I can't tell you how many times this has saved my butt. It also prevents all damage from bleeding, okay, if the chest hemorrhages, so you will never bleed to death. So these three are my favorite armor passives, okay, but currently I am using the Scout armor because being able to run and move is generally the best idea, especially when speed is crucial, okay? So this is what I've been using. Light and medium armors are your go-tos. For your helmets, the helmets no longer have the bug stats, so even equipping the Trailblazer Scout no longer affects your armor, as you can see. So you can't get an extra speed boost by equipping medium armor and then the Trailblazer Scout. Sorry guys, that's no longer valid. But that's okay, because now you can use whatever helmet sort of softens the blow of terrible black and yellow fashion. Capes, once again, use whatever you want, because there are no additional bonuses. I hope in future that some of these will have additional bonuses, because it would be cool. Alright, but if you want to match your capes a little better, you can always go with the Will of the People. I love this cape. It's so cool. Alright, there you go. So that about covers it for your weapons, your armor, your secondary, your grenades. Alright, now, the last thing we're going to talk about in this video is stratagems. We're going to talk about stratagems, and this one is going to be in-depth, again, like the rest of the stuff. Here we go. Let's talk about it. Okay, when it comes to stratagems, here are the two most important stratagems if you want to beat Terminids on any difficulty. The first must-have stratagem is the Arc Thrower. The Arc Thrower ignores armor. It has a range of approximately 50 to 55 meters, okay, and it's practically auto-aim. You don't have to really aim it that hard. It will arc to one more target, all right, and deal full damage to both targets. Once you've fully charged it the first time, the subsequent shots can be at about, I think it's slightly past 50%. You can fire it again, but it will still deal full damage. So don't hesitate to fire it early, all right? So that's how we've been rapid firing it. You'll be able to see it on stream, and it is absolutely fantastic. This is how you can bring down heavier targets. It takes about 12 to 16 shots to bring down a charger, and it sounds like a lot, but honest to God, if you've seen how quickly we can do that, charges do die. Sometimes you get in trouble if there's 2 or more, or if your teammate's in the way and you can't really take a shot, but that's a part of dealing with higher difficulty levels, and once you learn positioning, it's really not a problem. The fact that it's AoE also really helps you deal with hordes, and it also has limitless ammo. So honest to God, it's a fantastic weapon that everybody should be using. The biggest problem with it is team frags, but that is solved by the next thing. The next must-have piece of equipment is your shield generator pack. You must run this because although the cooldown has been extended, it is still one of your best options for surviving against the bugs, especially now that the arc thrower is the so-called meta weapon of choice. I really hate using that term meta, but it is the meta weapon of choice. Okay, the shield generator previously had a cooldown of 6 seconds, but now this has been extended to about 10 to 11 seconds. I didn't get an exact timing, but do take note that your cooldown is double what it was practically. And that is partially the reason why we choose light armor, because now you can resolve that cooldown issue by running. Okay, running away from your enemies will allow your shield to cool down, come back up, and then you can engage with the enemies again without fear. The main thing to understand is that the shield works differently to how it did before. Okay, but once the shield is broken, it regenerates back up to full. And in general, it will be regenerating in the field so long as you're not taking damage. So run and position well. Again, very good reasons to use light armor. Okay, so these two are your must-have stratagems. What are the other valid stratagems? Now you've got a lot of choices. When you're talking about the Terminid faction, my favorites are the 500 kilogram bomb. I absolutely love this. It can one-shot a Bile Titan if the bomb goes through the Bile Titan or drops just underneath its feet. Otherwise, it deals significant damage, and it has a massive range, obviously. I love the Eagle Airstrike, great for closing up bug nests, bombing an area, and it can actually peel off the body armor of the charger, dealing significant damage, assuming the charger doesn't notice you. This is a great choice. Orbital Rail Cannon is something that I've been bringing along on almost every mission. It'll help you mess up that one target, and it's on a 3-minute cooldown, so it is pretty useful. Sorry, it's slightly more than 3.5 minutes. Yes, it's on a 3.5-minute cooldown, which is approximately 210 seconds. So I don't know how I didn't think about it. It's written right there, 210 seconds. So when you've got the 10% cooldown from the ship module, which I believe is here, orbital stratagem cooldown reduced by 10%, this ends up on a shorter cooldown than you might think. So do use and abuse it. All right, I absolutely love it. I'm not sure if the cooldown is already factored in though, because some of the other ones, like this one, it factors in the number of uses once you get that module. So I don't know if 210 is what has already been factored in, but if that is the case, then that's okay. If not, then it takes off 21 seconds. So either way, this is a fantastic stratagem to use. Don't hesitate to use it. Okay, other than Rail Cannon Strike, Orbital Laser is still fantastic. A lot of people like to use it, but you only have 3 uses per match, so use it wisely. I personally choose Rail Cannon Strike and 500 kilogram bomb, because 500 kilogram bomb, you can spam it, use it twice, and then it's on a 2-minute rearm, comes back, and bada bing, bada boom, you go again. So for me, I prefer that. Are there any other valid choices? The 110mm rocket pods are okay, but not fantastic. Let me explain why. These things can peel off charger armor, but they will not actually kill the charger, and they do practically nothing against Bile Titans, so I don't like using them. I prefer to use these against automatons because they're far more fantastic against the machines. So this is something else that I find is useful, but it's up to you whether or not you really want to use it in the field. The cluster bomb gets a lot of use, especially if you're dealing with a lot of bug breaches, but I leave that choice to you, and it can sometimes kill your teammates, especially if you've got the orbital scatter going on. I don't know why it affects it, but it does, and it can sometimes scatter over a very wide area. And yeah, the amount of team frags from this is pretty bad. So Cluster bomb, I leave the decision up to you. I don't use it. Personally, my choice is always airstrike or 500 kilogram bomb and a rail cannon strike. That's what I use. Okay. For the 380 millimeter barrage and the 120 millimeter barrage, they are good. But what you need to understand is that they are now used more for nest clearing. So the 380 millimeter is best if, like, say one person has it, you see a large bug nest, throw it in the center, that whole thing is going to go up in smoke. The 120 is better for medium nests and small nests. Okay, it's not going to do very much against a large bug nest, unfortunately. It is much more concentrated than it was before, and it lasts longer, which is fantastic, but the 380 millimeter obviously does more damage, and this thing can kill Bile Titans, blow up some unlucky charges. I don't know. It's a very useful stratagem and should be used well, but it is mostly for nest clearing. Because it takes so long, by the way, to call in as well, or rather, because it takes so long and is relatively inaccurate, if you're in a situation where you need to sort of like run from enemies and drop a precision strike behind you, the Eagle Airstrike is better than any of these. So I would only use these for nest clear. That's it. Okay, so that about covers it for the stratagems. These stratagems will work on Terminids of any difficulty, and this is basically a loadout that will get you through any difficulty at all. We've tested it all the way up to 8 on stream, and I've done a 9 off stream as well. But I'm just going to say very clearly that it is actually quite difficult to use the arc thrower on 9. Not only does your team have to be fully aware, but you have to be fully aware of their positioning as well, and swarms can get very, very wild. So I would certainly say that things are a bit harder than they were before, but not terrible. There are still solutions. All right. Either way, this is the current meta loadout. I'm sorry that the video took so long. I really just wanted to discuss these things in depth, explain each of these stratagem choices to you and what they can and cannot do. And I thank you all for your presence. I hope you guys enjoy this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, especially if the information that I presented to you was helpful to you guys. I hope it helps you guys clear out the Terminids at high level, especially if, you know, you are relatively new to the game, you're still trying to find your way through. This will help you out. The arc thrower does take practice, but if you watch my streams and see how I use it, I think you'll pick it up pretty fast. All right? Thank you all very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, like I said. And a big thank you to several individuals who've been helping out with content. I really got to thank. These are our top supporters for March right now, okay? Starting with our top tipper right now, it's BVS Fang. Thank you so much. Our top super chatter is Wishlist Destroyer. Top super chatter list consists of Chanel Name Machine Wraith. Top channel membership gifter is Vinny2142. Thank you so much. Other top channel membership gifters are Nightshade. So thank you guys so much for that. Let me also check the top channel members. Right now, our top channel members are the following individuals. They have been so fantastic in keeping my content up and running. Thank you to Nisk at the OnlyFan level, Arcane Silver, and Death Dawning 982 as well at Plus Ultra. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you to all of our Prestige robots and Honored robots as well. You guys are stunning, and I appreciate everything you guys do for me. All right? Thank you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good time now. Enjoy kicking Terminid ass.